Welcome, FNews57 here. Once again, I'm back on my Xbox. We're playing some Call of Duty Black Ops 7, and today I am going to be showing you how to quickly unlock the brand new LMG. So this is the SOKOL 545, whatever you want to call that, SOKOL or whatever. Anyways, basically it is the new light machine gun. In addition to that, you will also be unlocking the SNOWFALL Mastery, which is a universal weapon camo. It's not my favorite, but hey, it is universal, so if you want that holiday cheer, you can get that as well. We'll get a bunch of XP, and we'll be completing the Naughty and Nice event. So this event just dropped. You don't have to rush through it. You've got like a whopping almost 23 days. It's COD's holiday event, and it is extremely easy to do. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. You have two lists of challenges. You have Naughty, which needs to be done to get the gun, and Nice, which needs to be done to get the camo. You don't have to do both. It is entirely personal preference. It does not matter what mode. Each mode has its own set of challenges. It can be done in the co-op campaign, multiplayer, zombies, or Warzone if you don't own Black Ops 7 or just prefer to play that mode. However, we will be focusing on the easiest way to do this, potentially all in a single match if you have a little bit of luck and a lot of skill on your side. Now, I'm going to be covering the solo method. This is 10 times easier with friends, but just in case maybe you're on the naughty list and you don't have any friends online to play with, then you could, of course, play with squad fill turned on, but yeah, sometimes that's worse than being on the naughty list. Anyways, all we need to do is go ahead and get this started. Now, I wish we could track all of the challenges, but unfortunately we can't. You can only track one at a time. You can do all of the challenges, but you just have to make sure that you remember what challenge you're doing. So I highly recommend you either write these down or take a screenshot or something. Now, I personally recommend co-op campaign endgame. It is going to be the easiest way to do it, so we're going to focus on that for the purpose of the videos. Remember, of course, with these type of, analytical how-to videos, you can, of course, use timestamps in the description or a faster playback speed just to skip ahead. But I want to make sure that everybody, regardless of their skill level, can go ahead and get this done as quickly as possible. So, for the first challenge in the Naughty playlist, you need 500 elims. That is stupidly easy, so don't even worry about that one that much. The second one is going to be 50 kills with or affected by your abilities. This one is going to be the pain in the ass one to do, to be perfectly honest, because you can't combo it with everything else at the same time, so you might need to do a second game for that, but you can also do just, the multiplayer one or the zombies one. The zombies is going to take you longer. There's no nice way for me to put it. The zombies challenges just are going to take you longer to do. So that's why we are focusing on the co-op campaign endgame. We also need to get 50 kills with score streaks. That's going to be easy, very easy to do. I'll show you guys how to get score streaks, where to go to get a bunch of kills with them. You don't have to worry about that. We need to run over 25 enemies with a vehicle. That is also pretty easy to do. And then we need to perform 5 finishing moves. That one can be pretty challenging, especially if you don't have active camo, but I'm going to show you how to do it without active camo and obviously solo. Then we go to the Nice playlist, which is going to have its own set of little gift challenges. In endgame, we have to earn 25,000 power. That might sound like a lot, but trust me, it's going to go by faster than you think. We also then have to complete 7 assignments. Don't worry about that. That's going to go by much faster than you think as well. I'll show you how to do it. And in endgame, we have to clear 5 strongholds. Then we need to use the supply link ability to resupply 15 armor plates to your squad. Definitely better, again, much faster and safer if you're playing with other players, but we're going to be doing it solo. And then you have to use the crash card ability to revive yourself or a teammate 5 times. Again, much easier with a team. You cannot revive people with it that are not on your team. So just bear all of this in mind. Now, if you are a brand new player to endgame, you will obviously have to level up an operator. Doesn't really matter what you use for a primary weapon. Pick what you want. And once you level up a little bit, then you can go to the different zones. If you have any questions on that, just ask. I have another video on my channel that covers to getting the 60 combat rating for basically max stats. And for equipment, you will want to grab yourself decoys, stuns, or EMP grenades, some sort of disorientation thing. Now, unfortunately, you can't equip these from the menu. You have to find them in-game. So I would recommend that you have an operator set up. Your secondary or field acquisition weapon, I would highly recommend as the arrow. This weapon is by far the best at destroying things, hence why we have it already maxed. Melee doesn't really matter. I have the ballistic knife because I'm grinding camos, and primary weapon, again, doesn't really matter. You can use whatever you would like, but we will be upgrading it to legendary rarity. As far as operators and abilities, I highly recommend that you do this on a operator that is combat rank 45 or higher, because that is when you get your third damage upgrade, unlocking 8 times damage. That is huge for operating with impunity in any zone that you want. Now, we will need the major ability Crash Cart, and I would recommend this ability if you are playing solo. I normally never use the minor ability Supply Link, but we will specifically need it for our challenge, so we're going to go ahead and take it. That's going to make us a lot slower when moving around the map, so we do have to be more strategic, and your game may be different depending on where you drop in than where I drop in. Normally, we would use the grapple hook or kinetic jump. So if you want to divide this up into 2 games, then what you could do is, for the first game, you could run the Crash Cart Supply Link combo, and then for the second game, you could run Crash Cart or whatever you wanted if you're playing with a team, and then something like the Portal Grenade, which allows you to actually spawn enemies, or Black Hat if you wanted to hack robots. There's many different ways of doing it. As far as skill tracks, I highly recommend Gunner, Daredevil, Bulldozer. This is the best setup that I've found for increasing your damage, movement speed, most importantly, the wingsuit speed, and just managing ammo consumption, armor plate consumption, things like that. Again, you can run whatever you want, but this is the setup that I would personally recommend running. For exotic skills, I would recommend that you don't have an exotic skill, period, because exotic skills will steal kills from you. So ideally, you're looking for the exotic skill Resurrection, Echo Shield, or Shatter Shield, but Shatter Shield can steal kills from you. Once you have everything set up, we're going to go ahead and drop into a game, and I'm going to explain everything that you need to do along the way. Well, that's kind of cool. We got ourselves a little holiday jingle while we're going in here. Now, I like to take on command centers first. Command centers are going to be this little fortress-looking icon, and we're going to hit those up, whatever one is closest to where you drop in. Now, I'm going to leave my full game in here. Normally, folks would hyper-edit this down, but this way you can see where we go and what we do. Command centers do not respawn. Once they've been cleared, they're cleared. Now, of course, you don't have to do all of this in one game, so just bear that in mind. Like, you can do this over multiple games, but I know folks don't want to spend a long time unlocking the new weapon, so all we're going to do is we're going to hack our way in here, and we're going to wait for the enemies to populate. Again, I've recommended the arrow. We already have it at legendary rarity. And we're just waiting and waiting. I wish I could just jailbreak my weapon right away. You only need to be in the area, by the way, for the command centers. But the reason why we're targeting command centers first is because, again, once players clear these, that's it. They're gone. And if you're not here to get, like, that little pop-up right there where it says activity completed, then you're not getting credit for it. Jailbreak whatever weapon you want. This way we can go ahead and go to our legendary rarity, 2 times damage bonus. Doesn't matter, you can jailbreak your knife, anything like that. Always go for the command center if you can. Join in at least on the command center in zone 4 because they're going to go first. Now, unfortunately, I only have my supply link ability there, and supply link only restores your armor plates in terms of armor plates that you have in reserve. It does not restore equipped armor plates. So just something to keep in mind there. This is going to be a little bit slower game because you're going to have to strategically try to get to the top of buildings or use the turbo slide ability, climb ladders, things like that, because we're not going to be able to get around the map as quickly. And that's why I highly recommended the whole getting to do the command center thing first. Normally, you'd be able to get around the map pretty quickly and it wouldn't really matter, but in this case, it does matter. So, make your way to the Zone 4 command center. If other players are doing it, just get in the zone so that you get credit for the completion. It does not matter if you can't solo it. That is perfectly fine. Just make sure that you're part of it. Same thing we're going to do right here. We're just going to go into this Zone 3 command center, merc it, and move on. I'm waiting for my crash cart ability to recharge, by the way, so I'm using up my armor plates. I'm going to get the decoy tossed out here. Decoys are not the best to do this with, but you can actually get behind enemies if you have the decoy. Now, unfortunately, the ability only restores one armor plate, so we didn't get very many armor plates back. That's why I recommend you just start using the ability as early as possible in the game. There's 2 command centers in Zone 4. There's also 2 command centers in Zone 3. So this way you can go ahead and get a couple of command centers at the same time. I've already cleared 1 in Zone 4, 1 in Zone 3. Easy peasy. We're just kind of wingsuiting from one high point to another high point. You want to keep your speed up in the wingsuit, so don't hold forward while you're wingsuiting. You just want to tap forward. This way you balance speed with altitude. And we're going to go to our very next command center. Obviously, again, with a team, this goes so much faster. We do have to be a little bit stealthy if we want to get the takedowns. And I'm also doing command centers because this is a good opportunity to look for our equipment. So I would prefer EMP grenades or stun grenades. Once you clear out a command centers will have 3 caches in them that you can open. One of these caches is always equipment. My ability just came off charge, so we'll go ahead and use that again. That gave us a free armor plate. Would be nice if it was more armor. I'm just going to check. Yep, Zone 4 has already been cleared. We'll look for another command center. Here we go. This is another command center. Sometimes you will notice the command centers respawn. I don't know exactly what triggers that, but in this particular case, I got lucky and the command center in my game is back. I have a feeling if you cleared the command center and no one is around the command center within the first 5 minutes of the match, then sometimes it does respawn. Then you're going to, of course, want to find yourself a vehicle, because obviously wingsuiting around is ideal. It's one of the fastest travel methods that we have available to us in the game. But considering that I don't have the grapple at my disposal, yeah, we're going to just, we're going to need some other way to get from point A to point B. And a vehicle is faster than running, even with your knife out. Vehicles have relatively low health. And of course, while you are driving the vehicle, if you have any fears that you encounter, you're going to want to run them over so that you can go ahead and make progress on the challenge for running over enemies. Again, super simple, super easy. We're not doing the crash cart stuff yet. Now, if you're super fast, you can get up behind an enemy that's unaware of you, and you can perform a finishing move on them. It's much easier to do if you toss a decoy out first, or if you hit them with a stun grenade or an EMP grenade. And we're just going to pop into this command center. Go ahead and take that down. Most of the time, the crates that you'll find in command centers, the supply caches, they're going to be weapons, but one of them is guaranteed to be a nice spicy piece of equipment. So if you're still looking for your equipment, you can go ahead and get it done that way. And again, every time our link ability is off of cooldown, we're just going to go ahead and use it. And we're going to then look for another command center on the map. We're probably going to have to go and clear the Zone 2 command centers. If you're closer to Zone 2, there's 2 command centers in Zone 2 that you can clear. And there is a command center all the way over here in Zone 1 that you can clear. The Zone 1 command center is obviously the easiest one to clear, but it is the one that is least used. Almost everybody just completely skips past the Zone 1 command center. So, because of the command centers, the requirement of clearing so many of those, you're probably not, unless the command centers respawn, going to get all 5 clears in one match. But considering that you need the ability kills as well, it's okay. Now, while we're in Zone 3 or Zone 2, this is going to be your best opportunity to run over enemies. And again, all you want to do is just grab yourself any vehicle. The LTV or LTV with a turret works best. And then just drive around until you find some fears. Any of the farming spots, residence, casino, the edges of the map, any of those work perfectly fine. There's tons of fears that spawn constantly. The only downside is your vehicle is probably going to break, like mine did, before you actually get your full 25 kills. So then you're going to need to find yourself another vehicle. And of course, remember that your marks do go away. So, yeah, command centers, that's going to be our priority target right there. Now, you can use this farm for anything that you might want. You go ahead and get your 500 elims. Super, super easy. We're going to make our way all the way over to that command center. And I'm going to actually try to wingsuit off of this tall building, depending on where you are. Now, if you happen to get dropped off, like, as a lower combat rank player, you probably will get dropped off outside of Tier 4. So you might have to make a beeline to Tier 4 in order to actually get there in time to clear the command center or get credit for it. And basically, it's the exact opposite of what I'm having to do. Unfortunately, it's very annoying that your mark disappears, so while you're trying to remark and wingsuit at the same time is not the best thing to do. We will obviously need to go into a higher threat zone just to make it a little bit easier to go down, because we're going to need to use our crash cart ability. Every time our squad link ability comes off a cooldown, we're just going to grab it. It's only giving us 1 armor plate, so if I was playing with a 4-player squad, that would be 4 armor plates restored every single time I use the ability. Pretty much use the ability 3 times, 4 times technically, and you'd be good. Of course, your squad mates do have to be in relatively close proximity to you in order to get credit for it. But again, it's pretty damn easy to do. Even without Tactician, I mean, you could run Tactician if you were struggling with it, but even without Tactician, it is just super, super easy. That ability comes back really quick. Now, the other thing that we need to do is revive squad mates, which if you're playing on a squad, you can pretty much do it in 2 activations of Crash Cart. If you're not playing with a squad, then yeah, it's going to be a little bit harder. But we need to get revives using Crash Cart. Basically, we need to revive ourselves 5 times. And, well, if you're spec'd like me, it can actually be pretty hard to go down. So the most effective way to do that is to simply use fall damage to your advantage. I know it sounds a little sketchy, but as long as you have a self-revive and you don't do anything too crazy, you're not going to actually die from the fall damage. You're simply just going to go into a down but not out state, where you can then activate your Crash Cart ability. That's going to revive you, as well as give you a temporary immunity to damage. And, of course, then the ability goes on cooldown. Now we're going to need to just make sure that we have our command center. Again, remember, command centers are in the same place every game. So there's 2 in Zone 4, 2 in Zone 3, these 2 in Zone 2, and then there's this one right here in Zone 1, and this one down here in Zone 1. So there's 2 in every zone, almost every single game. If you don't see the icon on the map, it probably means somebody has cleared it, and you just have to zoom in a bit more so you see the jailbreak icon. Now, nobody actually bothers with the Zone 1 command centers, which is the reason why I'm actually making note of this, because if you're like me, we have 3 command centers cleared, but what do we do for our last 2? Because I want to get this, or at least get as much of this in one game as possible. Answer, we go to the Zone 1 command centers. Zone 1 command centers, super easy. You can use whatever weapon you want. Like, I mean, these guys, they're not even going to be able to take me down. My abilities are going to kill them before I get the chance to kill them. In endgame, clear 5 guild strongholds. Not sure how I cleared 5 already. I got 1, 2, 3. This should have been number 4, but yeah, it gave it to me early. Alright, cool. That saves me from having to go all the way over to the second Zone 1 command center, which is located right by energy, if I cannot hit the wrong button. Right over there, with the car factory. That's where the second command center for Zone 1 is located. Now, obviously, we need vehicle kills, which is pretty damn easy to do. And we simply need elims. Elims are very easy to do. Simply operate in whatever zone you are most comfortable with. And once again, we can go ahead and use fall damage. You have to fall a pretty good height. Like, a jump off of a normal building isn't going to be enough to down you. So, you need a fall from a considerable height. A nice cliff or crane or something like that will do the trick, especially if enemies have already lowered your health. As you can see, though, they're not really doing much damage in Zone 1. That's why I recommended Zone 3 for most of this, since we're using a high-level operator. Whee! Oh no, I broke my foot. And I'm good. Easy peasy. That's 2 of 5 for the Squad Link Revive. We can ambush convoys. That's another way that we can do this to get vehicles. Now, the vehicle's going to be pretty destroyed, but it is possible to just go and be like, hey guys, thank you very much. I appreciate the vehicle. Let me just run you over real quick. And we now have a vehicle. Unfortunately, human-based enemies will like to hide from you. And I don't know of any way to actually repair vehicles in endgame. So you're going to need multiple vehicles. Robotic enemies are going to be the easiest enemy for you to just run over. And then for our kills, elims, and basically everything else, we are going to make our way all the way back over to Zone 3, or at the very least, Zone 2. You can do this here in, like, Zone 1, but as you see, fears spawned, and there's only, like, 4 fears here, so not really going to be very efficient to do it here in Zone 1. If you go to Zone 2, you get about 5 or 7 fears, and if you go to Zone 3, you get yourself around a whopping 10 to 12 fears. Sometimes I've even seen 15 fears in a single spawn. Of course, while doing all of this, you will need to keep your eyes on the timer in the left-hand corner. This way you don't run out of time and die, because you will need to exfil, and we don't have a super fast way of getting to exfil. Of course, while we're doing this, if the opportunity arises and, you know, your armor ability is available or your squad link ability is available, go ahead and take advantage of that. I'm going to skip that vehicle right there since it was just about busted up and I'm going to need another vehicle anyways. Running with your knife is faster than running with your primary weapon out, just as a heads up. And we're going to go up the cliff, fall down. Oh no, I broke my leg. That's number 3 on the crash cart. Again, with a whole team doing this, it would be a lot easier. So we need some assassination still. Not having very good luck on the old assassination stuff. I find enemies in like guild checkpoints to be a little bit easier to do this with. You can also do prime targets, pretty much anything like that. But if you're suffering from the same problem that I'm suffering from, which is the wrong piece of equipment, then what you want to do is you want to look for these roadside salvage missions, because the roadside salvage missions guarantee you a piece of equipment. You can also do safes, but we really don't have the time in this game to do safes. And I need an EMP grenade, because the decoy is effective, and if you're fast enough, getting behind an enemy is effective, but it's not perfect. So, you know, you might as well do things in as quick a manner as possible. You can also keep an eye out on the map for these little redeploy stations. Same thing from Warzone. They're super, super effective here because they're going to get you up way, way higher than anything else. Even if you were running the kinetic leap ability or whatnot, these things are going to get you up much, much higher. And we can basically just go straight in here, hit the ground, oh no, and go ahead and grab a revive off of that. Run in here, what do we have? We have nothing. Unfortunately, enemies that are affected by your abilities are a little bit difficult. I can go and show you that we have that challenge tracked and we only have 4 of 50. So basically, it does work with Crash Cart. It's just super difficult to do with Crash Cart. Also, you're going to want to look for Vital Hunt because we need score streaks. And again, that's a little easier said than done. You can use any vehicle, like there's an ATV right there. The ATVs get destroyed very quickly, so I wouldn't recommend running into Zone 4 with them. So right now I just need to find myself a vehicle. If you are struggling to find a vehicle, you'll want to look for a guild checkpoint. Guild checkpoints are a fantastic way to go ahead and get yourself a vehicle. We have to do this the hard way.
Indicating waypoint.
And there's going to be a lot of people going for this. So don't be surprised if you don't get everything in one game. Like right now, I got unlucky and there's just no VTOL hunts on the map. That's alright. The main thing that we want to get done the very first game is we want to get done with the squad link and or crash cart challenge. As long as we get done with one of those challenges, then we'll be good to use a ability that allows us to actually affect enemies much, much easier. Because I kind of have semi-god mode, which makes me very, very difficult to kill. Especially for these enemies. So I got myself another vehicle. We can use this to get around. There's other players. Everybody's doing the same thing right now. Looking for score streaks, looking for equipment, looking for the VTOL hunt, all of that fun stuff. What folks don't know is you can do these missions here, the dog escort. The dog escort is guaranteed to actually give you a dog score streak. And sometimes people are being mean and they're triggering the VTOL hunt, causing it to fly away without destroying it. But if you destroy a VTOL hunt, you are guaranteed a score streak, by the way. So, looks like I'm going to get out of this game a little bit fast, and I'm not going to get every challenge done in one game. That's honestly, it's perfectly fine. It was wishful thinking that I would get every challenge done in one game just because of the score streaks. I did not anticipate people being so crazy at grabbing everything up at the same time. There we go. That's our challenge for running over enemies. Easy freaking peasy right there. We can get elims using the farming points like I mentioned. Unfortunately, fears, even with stun grenades, like, I've never been able to do a takedown move on them. And I swear they never actually can take me down. So we're going to go to a guild checkpoint, because guild checkpoints are another way to get a nice spicy batch of equipment. These shipping containers are also pretty damn easy. Sometimes you'll get equipment from these guys. Most of the time it's weapons. That was just a daily challenge, but everything counts for this. Again, you can kind of like EMP if you have it, sneak around. If you're super fast on your sneak, you can get behind enemies. But it is so difficult to do without a stun grenade or something that, yeah, it's rough. Decoy grenades do work, but they're not as efficient. There is a piece of equipment, like I said, guaranteed piece of equipment at every one of these sections. So at every guild checkpoint, there's a piece of equipment. You can shoot down the VTOL that brings in reinforcements, and then, like I said, there will be a vehicle that also brings in more reinforcements. Just don't do that much damage to it. You'll be fine. Really easy peasy here. Try to make sure that the enemies don't actually wreck it. Then again, I'm going to just use my ability to go ahead and restore armor plates. I'm going to have to use that ability 15 times because no one else is on my squad. If I did have other players on my squad, we'd already be done with that challenge. Now, once the checkpoint is clear, some of the checkpoints will give you the opportunity to call in a supply drop. Some of the checkpoints, for whatever reason, don't give you the opportunity to call in a supply drop. I honestly have no idea why that's the case. So anytime you have a second, just go ahead and pause, take a look, just scan the map for the VTOL hunt if you want to get yourself a score streak, or you can do the escort dog. Doesn't really matter. Solo, the escort dog can be a little difficult, but it is entirely personal preference. Now, ideally, this works best if you already have a dog. So pretty much you have to go around the map, and you're going to go to a section to get the mission, and then you're going to be forced to go deal with a group of enemies, and then you have to protect a dog. Honestly, super easy because these are always in the same place every single time. So if you've done the assignments before, then you'll be, well, pleasantly surprised at how quickly you can do the assignments again. So what you do is you go and you activate the dog, which, by the way, this is a assignment, so this is going to count towards your challenge for completing 7 assignments. And then all you have to do is just eliminate enemies and follow said dog. Super easy. Like, you honestly, you can't get any easier than this.
Enemy! Right here! On me!
Oh, I tried to get behind that guy, but unfortunately I was not fast enough. Eventually you're going to have to defend the dog, and a whole bunch of enemies are going to spawn that are going to be shooting at the dog. This is the opportunity to get a ridiculous amount of assassinations, or whatever you want to call them. Knockdown, take down medals, whatever. Or, if you have already done a dog mission, and you have a dog, or you're carrying a sentry gun with you, you can go ahead and use that to get a whole bunch of kills. Again, super, super easy. The dogs are actually really, really tanky. So, all you have to do is kind of keep up with the dog. You don't have to worry about defending it all that much. I mean, as long as you don't let everything gang up on it, especially demolishers, the guys with the rocket launcher, you'll pretty much be fine. Now, I have tried this to see if the dog escort kills, like, if it kills something, which, honestly, it basically doesn't. Like, I mean, the amount of damage that the dog does is nothing. It's really, really bad. So that's why you want to have sentry guns, or you want to just have the dog. But there's 2 types of assignments. I'm going to show you what assignments are the easiest to do. Again, dog escort, to simply get a dog. Imagine if I had a dog active right now while doing this dog escort assignment. Just imagine at how many kills we'd be getting. Our score streak kills would basically be done already. So, very easy way to do it. The other way is the VTOL hunts, and then just use whatever score streak you get from them. The RCXD doesn't really do much. The sentry gun is phenomenal. The Rhino is pretty good, but you have to actually control the Rhino. So you're going to have to get a big group of enemies built up before you activate it. Now, of course, I am just one player chasing this dog down, so it is taking damage. There is the possibility that you'll fail the assignment, but it shouldn't be too difficult. I didn't anticipate this taking me as long as it has, actually. But that's simply due to the fact that, again, I'm not playing with a team. If you were playing with a team, you could have one player focus on grabbing assignments. This way, everybody spreads out on the map and you get things done a little bit faster. Again, we're just going to try to keep the dog protected as best as we can here. If an enemy is stunned like that and you're fast enough, you can get behind them and go ahead and perform the takedown. You've seen I had the prompt there for the takedown, but I only had the prompt for like a split second, unfortunately. So, it's not the easiest thing to do. You might get downed by these enemies, but if you're built like I am, then you're probably not going to get down. Do try to eliminate specials and elites because they will do a lot of damage to the dog. Hence why we also have the arrow. The Zone 3, this escort is harder to do, so if you're going to farm it, especially solo, I would recommend the Zone 2 one. There's 2 of them that you can toggle between in Zone 2. We'll just get rid of all of these special enemies. If you need special enemies, these missions spawn a bunch of special enemies. Again, arrow for the win here. We're just wrecking house. This dog is taking way more damage than I would like, but that's because we're at the final exfil point. We're racking up elims here. This would be perfect if I had active camo. I could just run around and get all of my takedowns. Anyways, easy peasy. Getting our armor plates back so we don't have to use this anymore. And then we can go ahead and open this up and just look at that. We have the dog kill streak. Now we can go ahead and call the dog in right there because I want to save my sniper rifle. Or what you do is you hold on to that dog and you get yourself a bunch of fears. Now the reason why I like the Zone 3 escort dog mission is because we have a bunch of fears. So I can literally go like that, toss my decoys down, and just watch this dog rack up those kills. So there's 7 kills for the dog already with very minimal damage to the dog. Now it's going to run around and get kills on its own. But what you kind of want to do is you kind of want to, if you can, bring more enemies to the dog, or wait to call it in until you have a big old pack of fears together and then call your dog in. Unfortunately, it goes and does its own thing, so it's probably running around inside this building right now trying to take down those random enemies. Eventually, it will make its way to you. So that's why I said just go ahead and get yourself a group of fears together. Decoys work phenomenally well. You can also use stuns and whatnot for this. And that dog is just going to wreck house. Now, it's not the perfect killing machine. I would love to say that it is. It's definitely not as good as a sentry gun. It does not last as long. But we've already racked up 9 kills on this group of enemies with the dog and like 7 with the previous one. So we almost finished the score streak challenge on a single use of a score streak. Again, like I said, very easy to do. That's not even the most optimized way to do it either. You can work on getting some more elims, or in this case, we're just getting some more armor plates here, going from one repel to another repel. I just finished up the supply link armor ability. I also have a massive amount of enemies right next to me, so I can use my ability here. What I can do is I can take that redeploy, and I can use my crash cart ability. I'm just going to get downed. All these enemies are on me. I'm going to use crash cart to instantly revive myself. That's one of the challenges. And then I'm just going to start murdering the shit out of them. And we just completed use crash cart ability to revive yourself or a teammate 5 times. So now I don't need the crash cart ability. I don't need the squad link ability either. And if I look at my tracked challenge, my 50 kills with affected abilities, or just the ability themselves, is almost halfway done. So it is entirely possible to do that. I could just wait here, get a whole nother group of fears built up again, and then do the exact same process again. We're at 19 of 50, so that is an option, but we are at 14 minutes on the timer, and at this point, I would recommend, since we don't have any movement abilities, I would recommend that you go ahead and exfil from the game, which is what I'm going to do, so I can then show you the VTOL hunt and everything else that we're looking for. Nope, there we go. There's our earned 25,000 power. I wasn't even trying. I need to do assignments, and yeah, we're going to go over assignments, score streaks, and the assassinations on the very next game. So it was a little overzealous of me to say that I could get this done all in one match. I definitely could have done it if I was playing with a team, or if I was in a game solo, but considering you have to share the command centers and activities and everything, yeah, it's probably going to take most players 2 games. Now, just so that we can finish up the last of our challenges, we're going to switch to the major ability active camo. Definitely recommend playing in a team if you don't have crash cart. And then the minor ability kinetic jump. Just to show what I am missing from the event, we almost got everything done, except in the nice challenge, we do have to complete 6 more assignments. I'll show you the easiest ones as soon as we get back in the game. And for naughty, we have to get a few more elims, which is really easy. The rest of our kills on enemies with our abilities or affected by our abilities, which will be a lot easier to do with kinetic leap and active camo. And then we have to do our score streaks. For some reason, it seems like the dog is not counting. So apologies for earlier saying that the dog would work. It should work, but apparently it's busted in game right now. And then we have to do 4 more finishing moves. Now we're in our second game. Like I said, what you want to do is you want to look for these VTOL hunts. They can happen in any of the zones on the map. And if you have the arrow, shoot the VTOL in the thruster. Super easy to do. That's going to drop you a nice little package here that you can go ahead and open. And that's going to guarantee you a score streak. You'll have 2 score streaks usually to choose from. Let me go ahead and see if this RCXD works. See if it counts. It's honestly not that great because it basically does almost nothing to enemies. Sometimes you do get a kill with it. I was hoping I'd get a kill with it there. So instead we will try the Rhino. This area is perfect for this because I'm in zone 4, so I can get a whole bunch of enemies. I figure I might as well show you each one of the score streaks. The Rhinos show up a lot, though. Obviously, fears work better. Like, you could just get so many more kills with fears than this. And the rhino does work. So you can see I'm at 1 of 50. Our rhino kills definitely count. You can just kind of run around, get a group of fears built up. I would recommend using Zone 3 fears because the rhino actually takes a hot second to kill enemies, which is kind of surprising. And of course, even if we use the melee ability on it, it just doesn't really do all that much. So what you want to do is you want to look for the sentry gun. The sentry gun is the best way of doing this. Overall, though, not too bad. We got 12 kills with that. Now, unfortunately, the score streak crate disappears pretty damn quick, even when you're standing next to it. So it can be kind of frustrating. Sometimes you do get score streaks from doing other things, but it doesn't happen as much as I would like. So I highly recommend that you do the VTOL hunt. There's also a VTOL hunt here in Zone 1. And then there's a VTOL hunt that likes to show up around here in Zone 2. So, lots of different places that you can go to get those score streaks. Alright, a guild checkpoint's going to be easy for this, so make sure that you're not in a area that the enemies can see you. Activate your active camo, and then we are going to be able to easily get our takedown. So make sure you have the option to perform the finishing move. While doing the finishing move, enemies can see you, so they'll usually try to either kill you, like the sentry gun is, or they'll just simply run away from you. And normally you can get about 3 to 4 finishing moves with a single use of active camo. Obviously, that's why I recommended that you have stun grenades. It's just better and faster that way. Also, the shipping container. Shipping containers are a fantastic way of getting score streaks. They're not guaranteed. So, this little icon right here, surprise shipment, it gives you a random either weapon score streak or equipment. Most of the time, I find that I get weapons from those. So, yeah, just, you know, if you're really desperate for score streaks, you can do them. But if you're not desperate, I don't recommend them. Just gonna open this up real quick, see what we get for a score streak. Sometimes it does glitch out, and it'll throw the crate in a random spot like this. So I got another dog. That's unfortunate. I can go ahead and grab that and then just call it in. And then I have the rhino, which we're actually gonna use to get a whole bunch of kills. Because the guild dog, for whatever reason, I don't know why that one is not counting currently, but it's not counting. So now what we want to do is either keep looking for a sentry gun, or find yourself a nice spicy spot to go ahead and group up a bunch of fears, like the casino, the golf club, the residence. Any of those Zone 3 areas work really well. Or if you happen to have a Colossus summon in your game, which is either going to be here on the map or way up here, either place, and nobody has started it yet, this is a phenomenal place to go ahead and get your rhino kills, or sentry gun kills for that matter, especially because it's in Zone 2, and in the beginning, as long as other folks aren't doing this, there's going to be a redonkulous amount of these unknown entities that spawn. Now, you're not guaranteed to have this every game, but it is something that may show up. So you're either going to get the Z-Rex boss, or you're going to get the Colossus boss, and in order to summon the Colossus, that's where we go through and we murder these unknown entities till you fill up the progress bar. So don't worry if you don't have this in your game. You can simply use the regular fears. The regular fears work perfectly fine. Unfortunately, the Rhino doesn't do that much damage. So it definitely can be a little bit difficult to get the kill with the Rhino as opposed to just like any other players that might be there. Of course, if the enemies are really close to you, like these guys, you can always melee them. But for some reason, it seems like the melee doesn't really do all that much. So I just like to back up and shoot them. It's probably going to take you at least 3 Rhinos or 2 sentry guns to go ahead and get all the required kills. You can see here I'm up to 27 of 50, so those do count, but they're not that efficient. We can also go ahead and do any of the guild checkpoints that request a supply drop, and the supply drops have a very high chance of giving you a score streak as well.
There's a guild checkpoint nearby. Clear it out. Loosen the guild's foothold.
I got you. Finding cover.
Here we go. I finally got a flashbang grenade. Flashbangs are awesome for this. So what we can do is we can get a group of enemies together, hit them with the old flashbang, get behind them. There's the finishing move. Flashbangs are the easiest to do that with. EMPs work some of the time, decoys work some of the time, but flashbangs are what you want if you want to pull it off like nearly 100% of the time, and you don't want to actually use your whatever it's called, your active camo ability. Now the reason why I'm over here at this checkpoint is just to quickly show another way that we can get score streaks, because it is something that a lot of folks do kind of suffer with. The old trying to get a score streak and just can't. So once you complete this checkpoint, which oftentimes it is difficult to find the final enemy, but it will let you call in a supply drop, which is like another little mini activity.
Oh, gave the guild a massive haircut with that one. High and tight.
So you just come to this little terminal here after you clear it out. That'll let you call in the supply drop. It does take a hot second, so obviously you can use a vehicle or whatnot. It's random where the supply drop is going to land, but it'll task you with going and getting that. And since I have Kinetic Leap on, I can actually do this really, really easily. We can get around the map so much faster. And you'll see some green smoke. That's going to be where our drop is coming in at. If you still need takedowns, you can go ahead and get them really easily. Sometimes the game bugs out and it just has you do a regular melee. So there we go. We got our Sweet Tooth challenge. You can see we got that for performing 5 finishing moves. Technically, that was my 6th finishing move. Not entirely sure why it took 6. It might be a little delayed. We're going to get our little care package here.
Looks like a good haul. Glad it's in.
And typically you get a weapon crate and then you get a additional crate. This is usually a kill streak crate. Now you can use the LDBR, which is what I'm going to use right here. See if this counts. I'm at 27 of 50 before that strike landed. Grab my sentry gun. And I'm at 33 of 50. So LDBR counts, the Rhino counts, and obviously the sentry gun counts. Now the sentry gun is my absolute favorite to use, but you want to do one of two things. Either call in an exfil, leave your sentry gun there, and then dip out. Or you want to go to, again, one of those kill farming spots over here, like Casino or whatever. You want to go there and get yourself a massive group of fears before actually, placing the sentry gun down. Super easy, though. So I'm over here This would work a little bit better. I'm using the casino. You don't have to, but I like the casino, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. We'll take a sentry gun and place our sentry gun down here. And then all I'm going to do is just run these fears around in circles. Kind of stay in the line of sight-ish of the sentry gun and make sure that you get rid of any special enemies. Or if there is a elite enemy, you want to get rid of the elite enemies because the sentry gun will want to target that first. So there we go. There's our 500 elims in the holiday mode. Super, super easy. And of course, we also got, I know you didn't see the pop-up for it, but in that mass of pop-ups and that mass of kills, because the sentry gun just gets so many kills, we did get the sentry gun or score streak elims done. So you don't have to worry about that either. Another fun thing you can do is you can actually pick up the sentry gun and then you can run with it to another location. So say you wiped out all the enemies with that sentry gun placement, you can run to another spot and then you can go ahead and put the sentry gun down again and the sentry gun will start killing some more enemies. It does time out after a while, but the sentry gun is by far the best thing for doing that challenge. So basically, the only thing I have left is kills on enemies, affected by my abilities. And then I have one more, which is the assignments. Alright, our last two challenges that we need to do are the 7 assignments. You might have that done already. And the 50 kills affected by abilities. So yes, I am breaking this up and we're using a different ability. To make it super, super easy, I would recommend Shadow Break. Again, if I would have had at the very beginning in the first game, if I would have already had my stun grenades or flash grenades, we would have been able to do the whole assassinations, the takedown moves, without needing the active camo. But yeah, since I was worried about the command centers, we didn't really set up for that. So anyways, now I will show you the easiest way to get these last 2 assignments done.
There's a guild shipping container nearby. Get to it before they do.
Alright, here we go. We're back in our final time for the last 2 challenges. We are doing the challenge for killing enemies with our abilities or while they are affected by our abilities. And the easiest one to go ahead and get this done with is going to be the Shadow Break. So basically, once it's fully charged, get yourself a nice big old massive group of fears. Pile them up together and activate your ability. Easy freaking peasy. We got 20 Shadow Break kills there. We literally need 5 more and then we are done. So I'm not going to wait for my ability to cool down. We're going to move on to the very next thing, assignments. Now you'll probably have some progression on assignments already. That is very good. That's going to be your blue things like we talked about earlier. Evidence collection, mysterious cargo, escort dog, and HVT elimination. There might be one more, but I forget what it is. Actually, there's 2 more. My bad. There is supply disruption, and then this one down here called cargo intercept. Avoid cargo intercept and supply disruption at all costs. They take a very long time to do. Normally, I would say you would get it done with your escort dogs, but unfortunately, since the dog kill streak is not working for the challenge, don't even waste your time with it. What you are going to want to do is use these HVT elimination missions. Now, They're very easy. They're on the main map. They're going to show up as a blue icon. When you ping them, it shows up as a white icon. You can only have one active for the entire team at a time. So if you are playing with a squad, the squad can position themselves in different areas to pick up the contracts. They do respawn. They have multiple different spawn points, and they exist in every single zone. So you can do zone 1, 2, 3, or 4, depending on how upgraded your character is. Remember, the bigger the zone, the harder it is going to be for you to cycle in between contract spawn points. I'm going to show you just how to do one of these contracts. And then I'm going to show you the best area that you can go ahead and do this in quickly if you're upgraded. So, again, operate in whatever area you feel most comfortable with. Make your way over to the initial icon, interact with the drone. That's going to force you to go to an area. It is always the same area, so once you've done this a few times, you can memorize it, use whatever you want. Weapon-wise, I recommend the arrow, murder the HVT, and run away. Then you can go ahead and use your kinetic leap ability or grapple to simply go to the next area. It is very, very easy to do, and you can just keep bouncing from assignment to assignment. Completing 7 in one game is honestly super easy. I think the most I've done in one game is 20, but that was using a completely different point of interest. So this area in the upper section of Zone 3 works phenomenally well, and is the sweet spot for most players because you don't really need all that much when it comes to upgrading. A purple rarity weapon, even a blue rarity weapon with level 45 is more than adequate for slaying your way through this area with minimal difficulty. If you're even lower level, you can keep cycling these HVT elims in Zone 2, and if you're just starting out, you can even do the Zone 1 ones. However, if you want the absolute fastest elimination spawns, then you want to go down here into Zone 4, because in Zone 4, the spawn points are increased. There's about 3 different ones that we can go to, but the area is super small that they spawn between, so you can literally complete an assignment in like 2 minutes or less.
You're near a crashed guild UAV. Worth checking for intel. Guild reported some extra muscle. Find that HVT and send it packing.
So we just picked up that drone. We're only like 300 meters away from the target, which is always going to be in this little compound area. I can just use my ability, use whatever weapon you want. I like using the arrow if I'm not leveling up another gun, and wham bam thank you ma'am, that is done. Now we give it a second and we look on the map. There can be HVT elims that will spawn in other little spots around here, or you could go and do something else if you wanted to. You could do a mysterious cargo. Again, it's entirely personal preference, but give it a minute or two. Maybe do the VTOL hunt if it's there and you still need a score streak, and there will be another one of these assignments up for you to pick up.
You're exposed.
And there we go. We just finished another challenge. Easy peasy. 50 kills on enemies affected by my abilities. And that is our weapon completed. There is our nice unlock. We have one challenge left, and that is under the nice playlist for the assignments. I decided to do this dog escort because well, I just couldn't get to the other HVT fast enough. Lots of people are going for these assignments all at the same time, so you do have to share with other folks. The neat thing about this is everyone on your squad will get credit for the assignment being completed at the same time when an assignment is completed. So just bear that in mind. Like, if you see somebody who's solo, who's not in a squad, and they're trying to also do assignments, what you can do is you can very easily invite other players to your squad. Or if you're the one that's solo, you can just request to join their squad. This way, more people will be able to get the assignment completion done faster. But I'll show you a couple other assignments here real quick. We're just going to speed through this so I don't make the video too long. Everybody knows how to do these assignments.
It's confirmed. HVT operating nearby. I'm in control now, not Kagan. You'll die soon enough. Kill will crush you.
Transmission restored.
And there we go, just like that, our 7th assignment completed. Super easy. I think we actually got a calling card off of that. This is another easy assignment that you can do, the mysterious cargo, just in case the HVT ones are not available and you can't really do the escort dog solo. I mean, it's easy, but just in case you can't do it, this one, mysterious cargo, is super easy to do. I'm going to show you how we wreck it real quick. It can be more difficult, so just bear that in mind. I'll show the rewards here in a second if you want to skip ahead. All you have to do is pick up that assignment, go to the cargo crate, interact with it, and basically stay alive through a series of reinforcements. I don't like doing this one because it takes longer to do. Multiple different VTOLs are going to make their way in and over to you, but as long as we shoot the thrusters with the arrow, the VTOLs are super easy to deal with, even in Zone 4. Pretty much makes it so that you can just kind of sit here and pick your nose, play the game with one hand, so to speak. We already have all of our challenges done. Yes, it was overzealous for me to say I would get them done in one game earlier, but that's just simply because I had to actually share, and I only can be in a game a maximum of 45 minutes before, well, any longer, and we'd run the risk of dying and losing everything, which is the worst thing that you could possibly do here in endgame. So realistically, though, if I look at my recording, currently it's taken me an hour and a half, and that's with loading times. So basically, you could get this done if you had a team and you got a little lucky with the way your assignments were spawning, or having other players ready to pick up the various different assignments. Yeah, you could definitely do this in a single match. You would just have to have a little bit of luck on your side. And then you wouldn't need to switch abilities, because you wouldn't need to have the stun grenades. You could use them, obviously, but you wouldn't need to have them, and you wouldn't need to have active camo. Now, once you finish the little survival sequence, you're going to have to actually go ahead and do something with the shipping container. Sometimes it's just loot, sometimes it's guild drones you have to destroy, and of course, sometimes it does have a elite enemy in it. So, not as fast and efficient, but it is a very easy one to do. I would recommend you just farm the HVT elims and just operate in whatever zone you have the damage to operate in. Now we have all of our event challenges done, all event challenges 100% completed in an hour and a half. I'll show you the weapon in just a second. So there we go, just to show we got the snow on this calling card, the weapon unlocked, and then of course it kicked me from that screen, but we got the weapon, and then we got the firelight calling card and the snowfall camo. That is everything for this brand new naughty and nice event completion. So we'll take a quick look at the LMG so you folks know what you're getting into. It's a full auto light machine gun, obviously. It does have two different fire mode switches, which is kind of weird. One fire rate mode that's slower but more damage, and then one that's faster with less damage and more recoil. Not sure how I feel about that. Obviously, I don't have anything unlocked for it, but we're going to go ahead and put the brand new camo that we just got. We'll put the Snowfall camo on there. I'm going to pop it into a match of zombies just so you guys can see. Its base stats don't look super impressive, but we'll take a quick look at it in-game, and you guys can decide whether or not you wish to unlock it. I would recommend that you unlock this now during the event, since you can do it in about an hour, and once the weapon goes into a armory unlock, it's more than likely going to take you around 2 to possibly 3 hours to earn enough XP to unlock it. So go ahead and grab this while you can. You've got almost a month to do so. Alright, so here we go. We have our nice, spicy, holiday-themed camo on our brand new LMG. I mean, the camo's not my favorite, but hey, it is a universal camo. So, looks like this is our slower fire rate. I'll do a video on this weapon, a separate video. And then this is our faster rate, which is about 10 damage per hit less than the faster or the slower fire rate. So, yeah, not sure how I feel about it. Let me know how you guys feel about it in the comment section below. Hopefully the guide helped you out. If you have any questions, leave a comment. Let me know what I can help you with, and I will do my best to help you out. Till next time, my brothers and sisters, Legion, stay frosty.